My friends, and a guten Erev Shabbos. Wonderful Friday followed by a beautiful, beautiful Shabbos. Well, this week we're starting the second Parsha in the Torah. Last week we started the Parsha and the Torah anew after Simchas Torah. We started with Bereshis, about creation. This week we're going to be reading about the great flood in the time of Noach. What was it that was so horrifying that God decided to destroy the world? What happened? What did they do wrong? Well, the Torah says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, God, saw HAMAS. And HAMAS, the commentaries translate as robbery. But robbery is usually, the Hebrew for robbery is usually geneva. So, and a thief is called a ganav. So what is this HAMAS? HAMAS is to forcibly take something that doesn't belong to you. Even if you pay the person in full, you still can't take something that doesn't belong to you. Or you can't force somebody to give you something that they don't want to give you, or even to force them to sell you something they don't want to sell you. And that's what the Torah says. That the final straw in the final nail in the coffin, the straw that broke the camel's back, was HAMAS, forcing people to give things that they didn't want to give. Really? That's a horrible thing. A horrible thing. But that's what destroyed the world. Didn't we learn, all of us have heard throughout the ages, that there was horrible immorality, people stealing other people's wives? Didn't we hear that people were just out at each other's throats and not caring about each other? We did. And that's all true. I have another question. And you know, I'm Jewish. I answer a question with a question. So my other question is, God has so many ways he could have saved Noach and his family and all the animals. Why did he make them sit together on this ark for a full year? It rained for 40 days and 40 nights, but if you count the amount of time till the land had dried up enough that they could actually come out, it was a full year. A full year being cooped up in this sealed off boat, tossed around in the waves. Animals, people, refuse. Ugh, what a horrible existence for a whole year. I guess it's better than what was waiting for them outside the ark, so I guess that's the way they were able to handle it. But why? Why did this have to be like this? Why couldn't God do something else? And this actually answers my first question. Like I said, I'm Jewish. The first question was, I thought it was immorality. I thought it was just people out for number one and not caring about anybody else. And the Torah tells me it was HAMAS, forcing people to give something that they don't want to give, forcing people to sell what they don't want to sell. And the answer is, it's all the same. You see, everybody was living a world or living a life of look out for number one. I'm put in this world to take care of me and nobody else. It's all about me. It's all about what's good for me. And the next person felt that way also. And the next person felt that way also. When you have an entire world and everybody thinking about me and nobody thinking about the next person, you don't need God to bring a flood. That world will self-implode eventually. But I guess God didn't want to wait for that. And he destroyed it completely. Immorality is part of that. What is immorality? I am looking for my personal gratification, my pleasure, and nobody else's. I don't care if it's somebody else's wife, I don't care if it's my wife, I don't care who it is, as long as I'm the one benefiting. Somebody else's benefit, that's not my business. Thievery is the same thing. You have something, but I want it. And it's all about me, so therefore, I take what I want. Forcing somebody to give something to you that they don't want to give you, sell something to you they don't want to sell you, is just a sign of the age. It's all about what I want. Everyone in this world is just here to make me happy and to serve me. Comes along the flood, wipes out everything and everyone, except for those people and animals that are cooped up in that little ark. How did they function? Noach and his family had to feed and take care of all these animals constantly. They had to worry about their survival constantly. You have animals that are nocturnal, you have animals that are not nocturnal, you have animals that eat certain different types of foods, you have animals that eat several times throughout the day, you have animals that don't eat several times, they only eat once every couple of days. And Noach was constantly running to keep up with their diets and their needs. It's interesting that one of the mitzvos, one of the 613 mitzvos in the Torah is, if you have animals, if you have pets or livestock, you have to make sure they're fed before you eat. And why is that? It's actually not for the animal's sake. It's for our sake. See, try number one with this world didn't work. The world produced people that were out for number one and didn't care about each other. We had to destroy that and start again. Who did we start with? We started with Noach, his family, and animals. And during that time, Noach and his family were learning to take care of others first. Try number two is called Olam Chesed Yibana, which means the world is built through kindness. We are here for each other. There is no such thing as look out for number one. Everyone who is put in this world is here to benefit others. Good job.